Hi, I'm John,
And I'm Steven.
and welcome back to the overview of Christian doctrines. Today, we're heading to a new direction. We're going to talk about the church,
Mm.
and specifically, what is the church? Now, the term church has been thrown around. It could mean church of anything right now.
Yeah,
So, what do we mean by when we say church?
yeah. In English, in English language, at least in the Christian context, the word church has come to mean one of three things. It could mean a physical building. For example, when we say let's go to church, so we say let's go to church, we're saying let's go to that facility that is being used for Christian worship, right? So we're talking about let's go to that physical building. Let's go to church. Um, Christians may also say things like "we are the church," referring to the people, not the building, but the people, the congregation, the community, or the assembly of Christians. And a third usage of the word church could mean a denomination, a distinctive Christian group, such as the Methodist Church, the Lutheran Church, the Brethren Assemblies, and the entire infrastructure of denomination. We also call that church.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, what is the proper view then of the word church?
Well, if you're asking about what is the New Testament use of the word church, the New Testament only used the word church ever to mean the congregation. The second one, the congregation, the community, the assembly of Christians. We are the church. So it never ever refers to the physical building, and of course there was no such thing as
Yeah.
denomination. So it only refers to congregation, to the community of God's people.
Okay. So, specifically, where can we find this word church in the Bible?
Yeah, so the Greek word for church is ekklesia. And ekklesia, there's a classical Greek meaning, there's a secular meaning to the word church, a regular meaning to the word ekklesia. It means an assembly of the citizens of a city.
Oh,
Yeah, so when the city calls for a meeting of its citizens, that is ekklesia.
okay.
It could be a formal one, it could be an informal one.
So it just merely means gathering of
Yeah, it
people.
just means gathering, really. Acts chapter 19 talks about this. Use the word church in this way, or ecclesia in this way. Um, so Paul was in Ephesus, and there was trouble for him, and people were seeking to kill him as usual. And so there was a riot, and so people gathered. They were rioting. Now some cried out one thing, some cried out another thing. For the assembly, for the ecclesia, was in confusion, and most of them did not know why they had come together. So this was an impromptu, informal gathering, might even be an illegal gathering of the citizens
Yeah.
of Ephesus. So ecclesia. So then, because of the riot, the city council member or the city official wants to calm down the situation, calm the situation down. And so he said, "Hey, let's calm down. Let's not go overboard with this, because if Paul did anything wrong, we will punish him. But if we go overboard with this, then maybe we ourselves will be found to be doing something illegal, doing something unlawful." So he continues to say, "But if you seek anything further, it shall be settled in the regular assembly."
So the official assembly.
Yeah, the official
Regular.
meeting, regular meeting of the city.
I see.
And when he had said these things, he dismissed this impromptu assembly.
Okay, so that's the church
Yeah,
seen as in the context of the citizens, the gathering of the citizens of the city.
yeah.
But then how come this the word church also being transposed onto Christian when we gather?
Yeah, so because Jesus uses the word, he probably used the Hebrew word kahal. Kahal means to gather, and the Greek equivalent for that will be ecclesia. So he talks about the church in two aspects: universal and local.
Okay.
Right. So in Matthew chapter 16, verse 18, he talks about the church in its universal aspect. He asks his disciples, "Who do you say that I am?" And Simon Peter said, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." And so Jesus says, "And I tell you, you are Peter. And on this rock," that means on your confession of Jesus Christ is the Son of the living God, "I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it." Now, church here obviously means the universal church. It is not referring to any specific congregation. It talks about church across time and space. So in Ephesians 1:22, Paul writes, "And God will put all things under the feet of Jesus Christ and gave him as head over all things to the church. So this is the universal aspect of the church.
I see.
Yeah. And so there's also the local aspect of the church. Matthew chapter 16, that was that. And then now in Matthew chapter 18, two chapters later, Jesus talks about how do you resolve disputes between Christians. So if there's a dispute between the two of you, just settle it among yourselves. But if you can't settle it among yourselves, then bring 2 or 3 witnesses together to help you to resolve the issue. And then if he refuses to listen to them, tell it to the church. Now, of course, you can't tell it to the universal church across time and space. You have to tell it to that local congregation, that local assembly of Christians, the local assembly of the people of Jesus, right? Or 1 Corinthians chapter 1 verse 2 says, to the church of God. Now, that sounds like the universal church, the church of God. But then it follows by, that is in Corinth.
So it's localized to Corinth itself.
Yeah. So it is the universal church of God as expressed in the city of Corinth. Yeah, so everything that is true about the universal church should also be expressed in the local assembly of Corinthian Christians. Yeah, I'll give you an illustration. So, say the moon, right? There's only one moon. The moon, there's no such thing as, say, the moon of Corinth, or the moon of Ephesus, or the moon of New York, the moon of Kuala Lumpur, Beijing, Tokyo. No, there's no such thing, right? Nobody owns the moon.
Yeah.
But there is such a thing as the moon in Corinth, the moon as observed in Ephesus, the moon in New York, the moon in Kuala Lumpur, in Beijing, in Tokyo. So it is the same moon, but as observed, as expressed in the locality.
I get it. So what is the church? It is primarily the universal church of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And how we observe or express this is within the local church.
That's right.
It's an expression of the universal church.
Yeah.
I think what's a cool aspect about this is church could mean a gathering to anything.
Yeah.
But for Christians, the church means a gathering to Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so it is not the Ekklesia of the citizens of Ephesus, it is the Ekklesia of Jesus Christ, the Ekklesia of God that is in Ephesus, that is in Corinth. So the church only ever refers to the congregation, to the people, never to the building or to the denomination.
All right. Well, see you next time as the church.